This is a documentary about Audrey Hepburn. That's right, people. Audrey Hepburn.
On Netflix.
On Netflix.
Justice League, that was what, HBO Max.
At HBO Max. Audrey Hepburn. Now, everyone knows Audrey Hepburn. She came into the movies Blazing.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Blazing with Roman Holiday in the 1950s. Her and Gregory Peck. And she never looked back, but then soon she decided to leave Hollywood, right? To embark on a whole nother life experience, right? So this documentary covers all that, and it fills in points that you, the person who is a fan or a person who watches her films might not have known, right? To know where she comes from and what her background is and where she comes from. This goes to show you that America has always let in immigrants. You know, not to say, this is just say part of American black politics. They've always let in immigrants. And they had a perfectly good people here that could have been in film and been seen as, you know, as the heroes in film, but they always let in immigrants, which, you know, that's their prerogative to do so. But so Audrey Hepburn, immigrant, comes in and she storms Hollywood, and she has many different films, but then one of your favorites, Breakfast at Tiffany's, her and George Papard.
This one is with Sabrina and but you know what? She, you know, thank God that she came to America, right? Do you remember that skit with Dave Chappelle he had on his show? When he would like, okay, we're going to switch out this person to this group and that person out to this group, right?
Oh, yeah.
I would
race trade.
Yes, race trades, right? And so I would gladly take in Audrey Hepburn, and we can switch out some of these people who were born and raised in America for her, right?
Someone wants to scale the wall on June 6th.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Storming the Capitol, please.
But tell them why you like.
Well, first of all, she was born May 4th, which is a beautiful day, right? May 4th. But besides like that, you know, I mean, not only was she a great actor, right, or actress, right? We learned that she started off as a dancer, right?
Ballet dancer.
Ballet dancer. She's a ballerina.
When you say you start off as a dancer, people be thinking about the stripper.
Right. Oh, no. She was graceful. Ballet dancer. Also, she had the stature of a model as well. So I think that's really why people also like seeing her in film, like her acting, the grace, the movement, the way the materials moved on her body. But what I found interesting is how she went to Givenchy, right? And she asked him because he was expecting, was it Catherine Hepburn?
Hepburn, yeah.
So when he saw her walk in the door, he was a little disappointed. But, you know, as you'll learn in watching the documentary, they had dinner and he immediately fell in love with her personality. And from there, they began working together.
Designing those different
beautiful
couture
couture
gowns that she wore in
all of her films, right? And I love like her personality from what we learned during Breakfast at Tiffany's. That one scene, the Moon River. She stood up for that scene, which is a very popular scene.
Yeah,
powerful scene.
She actually sings Moon River.
Right, actually singing Moon River, playing the guitar.
Executives after the screening, after the rush screening, they were like, and that song, that definitely has to be cut. And she stood up and said, "Over my dead body."
Right, you know.
And it stayed in.
And it stayed in, right? So her towards the bull horns went up, and she said, "You will not be removing that scene from this film." So I love also that she loved her family, right? She loved her family. She loved people, period. She was a great humanitarian up until the day she died, right? She was working with trying to relieve the world of hunger, feeding children, right? She worked for UNICEF.
That's right.
She worked with UNICEF, and it burdened her heart. She just could not understand why, with so much wealth, right, throughout the world, that children were actually starving.
In particular, the dark-skinned nations.
Yeah, she said she couldn't understand that, they said. It was just crazy to her. So
especially when it wasn't in wartime.
Right, it wasn't during wartime, because she grew up during wartime.
And she was in the famine.
And she was in the famine. And she's, like she said, she knows what it's like to be hungry as a child.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is just a beautiful documentary. I knew a lot about her because just like following her from just watching all of her films, right? And just seeing her, as kids, we would see her on television working with UNICEF, right? So, but just learning more about her,
right,
just makes you're just more, ingratiated more?
Right. She ingratiates you more through the knowledge that you learn about her. She ingratiates herself.
Because you already...
Or the creators ingratiate
they did
her
a great
to
job.
you more. Right.
Yeah, I mean, because she's already not just an icon. Like they said, someone said in the documentary, I can't remember, was it Givenchy? But they said that she was just special. Beautiful inside as well as out, which is very important.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You see that lacking sometimes. And a lot of people.
Because everyone would meet her and say, "Is she really a movie star?"
Right.
Because she didn't act like a movie star.
Right.
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 So this documentary gives you all that and gives you even more. And we don't want to even tell you, everything. But we're gonna go through. We're gonna go through breaking it down. Yeah. Okay, cutting in between. Right. The modern day scenes, movie clips, and the audio from back in the day to scenes from back in the day, like home movies and all that. Right. That's a 10. Yeah. The sound quality on this film is fantastic. Yeah. Introducing you to Audrey Hepburn as a young 6-year-old. Yeah. All the way up, arcing her into who she became. Right. That's a 10. Yeah. Introducing you to her eldest son, who, is the voice who fills in a lot of the gaps. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And he taking on a responsibility to be part of this. That's a 10. Yeah,
his daughter, her granddaughter.
Yeah, and his granddaughter. I mean, her granddaughter. Right. His daughter. Right. That's a 10. Right. It's a documentary that you need to watch, right? That you will be thoroughly not only entertained, but you will be informed, and you will see a lot of nice clothing. Right. You know what I mean? It's always nice to look at nice clothing. Right. You know what I mean? So, what would you give Audrey?
Definitely, come on now. Definitely a 10. What I loved is learning more behind the scenes of, the different films, like Roman Holiday and My Fair Lady. And not only that, we learned about other films she was doing before. She was in like tons of other movies, right? Mm-hmm. So I learned more about that, other work that she had did. So it was very informative. Just well done. And like you said, the couture, like the clothing, just beautiful. I mean, so it's like a lot of us, when we watch these different award shows today, whether it's the Oscars or the Golden Globe or NAACP awards or BET awards, or we watch for the beautiful clothing, and it's just the couture. I mean, you could just tell that. And then they talk about her relationship, the friendship, right, that she has with her designer, and you can tell because he put a lot of love in the outfits that he created for her. So just excellent documentary. And there's a lot more that we learned that we're not even discussing now. You have to watch the documentary.
You have to watch it. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
So for Audrey is a 10. Well, people, there we are. We have come to an end of another hashtag TFR Podcast Live. That's the Film Review, Movies, Music, Culture, Politics, Society Podcast. That's myself and my wife. We are the husband and wife team. I'm Crazy D.
I'm Tracy.
And we review movies, music, culture, politics, society on a podcast that we call hashtag TFR Podcast Live. And we will see you next week at 3 p. Pacific, 6 p. Eastern on another episode of hashtag TFR Podcast Live.
The Film Review, Movies, Music, Culture, Politics, Society Podcast, interviews, movie reviews, and more. Live Sundays at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern on the Spot Podcast and the Film Review Life channel. Subscribe.
Hi, this is Bernadette Stanis, Thelma from Good Times, and you're watching the Film Review.